Inshallah, we take the الدرس الحادي عشر. الدرس الحادي عشر. Let's understand this concept here. الحادية عشرة. The numbers from 11 going to 19, this is how we'll be seeing it. You see the first part of the number, that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You will see that part taking the alif and lam, and then the ashar always coming without alif and lam. Numbers have their own qawaid. I think the other time we picked the qaida on numbers from 1 and 2, and then 3 to 10. Now, when you get to this part, they also have their own qawaid. But then let's just note that this is how we'll be seeing them. The first part, so you see athaniya ashara, athalitha ashara, going on like that. And then also you see them coming with fatha here and then fatha there. Both parts of the numbers will be taking fatha, fatha. Yani the 1 to 9 will be taking the fatha, the ashara, the 10 itself will also be taking fatha. We call it mabni juz'aini. Mabniyun juz'aini. Those numbers are called mabniyun juz'aini. That is, they are indeclinable. They are construct on the fatha. So that is how they come. As it says, inni ra'aytu ahada ashara. You see the two part taking fatha, fatha. That is how it's happened from 11 to 19. Okay, now we get to ad-darusul hadi ashar. That is the 11th lesson. So when you want to say the 11th hour, as-sa'atu al-hadiyata ashara. As-sa'atu aywa. Ihda ashar, the ihda is feminine. The ihda is the feminine of ahada. So if I say ihda ashar, I mean 11, but not as an adjective. So if here he wants to, if they want to put the ihda ashara here, let's say we have something like you want to count, you are counting and you say you get to 11, and what you are counting is feminine, then you say ihda ashara. Ihda ashara. The ihda is feminine when you see it like that. Then we have the ahad being masculine. But in this case, when they are coming as adjectives, they come in this format with the first one taking the alif and lam. Yani when the word they are describing has alif and lam, they come with the ad-dars is masculine, al-hadiya is masculine. Here, if you wanted to use the feminine, you say al-hadiyata, because it's coming as an adjective and it's counting a sequence. We have different forms of numbers actually. When we get to the numbers, the subject on numbers, inshallah, I would have to really open it up. I have a material on it though, but then it has to really be expanded. We have numbers when you are counting something, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. We have numbers when you are counting like first, second, third, fourth. And then we have numbers when they are coming, as, you're welcome. When the numbers are coming as adjectives, they have their own format that they also follow. So inshallah, we are going to see them all. Okay. He says, ad-darusul hadiya ashara, bayti, my house. Okay. Bayti says, hadha bayti, this is my house. So now we've gone into the essay format. We've started the essay format. Says, hadha bayti, this is my house. Bayti amam al-masjidi. Bayti amam al-masjidi. Now, when I read with any vowel, I think, let me just read through once quickly. When I read with any vowel and you are not getting it, please just take it. Just note where I read it with a vowel that you don't get it. You see here, the text is devoid of vowels mostly. So they know you are used to the words, so you are going to read it with accurate vowels. It says, هذا بيتي. بيتي أمام المسجد. بيتي جميل. فيه حديقة صغيرة. هذه غرفتي. فيها نافذة كبيرة ومروحة جميلة. هذا سريري. وهذا كرسيي. وهذا مكتبي. ساعتي وقلمي وكتابي على المكتب. وحقيبتي تحت المكتب. وحقيبتي تحت المكتب. نافذة غرفتي مفتوحة. نافذة غرفتي مفتوحة. هذه غرفة أخي. وتلك غرفة أختي. غرفة أخي كبيرة وغرفة أختي صغيرة. غرفة أخي أمام غرفتي وغرفة أختي أمام المطبخ. لي أخ واحد اسمه أسامة. ولي أخت واحدة اسمها سعاد. أبي وأمي في تلك الغرفة الكبيرة. أنا أحب أبي وأمي وأحب أخي وأختي. جميل. So he says, هذا بيتي, this is my house. بيتي أمام. You see words like أمام, بعد, وراء, خلف. When they come like that as adverbs of place, they end with fatha. So you say baiti amama, you don't say baiti amami or baiti amamu. Baiti amama al-masjidi, my house is in front of the masjid. Baiti jamilun, my house is beautiful. Fihi hadiqatun, fihi ay fi baiti hadiqatun saghiratun. In my house there is a small garden. And as I've said, hadiqa is a garden with fence that has been fenced. And bustan is a garden without fence. Okay. هذه غرفتي, this is my room. فيها نافذة كبيرة. It has, فيها بمعنى it has, or in it is نافذة, a window, كبيرة, a big window. ومروحة جميلة. هذا سريري وهذا كرسيي. This is my bed and this is my chair. وهذا مكتبي, and this is my desk or table. ساعتي, ساعتي, as I've said, the meanings of sa'a, as I indicated in the last vocabularies and expressions, that sa'a can mean hour, hour, H-O-U-R. Sa'a can mean clock, the big clock. Sa'a can mean watch, wristwatch. Sa'a can mean moment. As I gave an example, somebody comes to you at an odd time in the night or something, you can ask them, limaza ji'tani as-sa'a, or limaza ji'tini as-sa'a. As-sa'a here means, why did you come to me at this moment, at this time? Okay. Says sa'ati wa qalami wa kitabi ala al-maktab. My watch, my pen, and my book are on the table. Now look at something with Arabic. Arabic will keep repeating and like that. If the words are like sex, Arabic will keep saying sa'ati wa qalami wa kitabi wa hizai wa mindili wa hatifi wa. But you see, English would have said sa'ati, comma, qalami, comma, kitabi, comma. That's what English does. But Arabic, we keep bringing the wa. Unless when the thing you are counting is up to 8. When the thing you are counting is up to 8. Even some people today, if it's up to 6, they go with the English format. But then what we know is that if what you are counting, what you are mentioning is up to 8, we call something wawul thamania. Waw al-thamaniya, the waw that comes at the 8th mention. I wish I could just reach it quickly, but as we are going on, inshallah, I'll just search. If I find it, there is a verse like that in the Quran that is used to explain this concept. Right when I find it, inshallah, I'll let you know. Now, if not, we will keep bringing the wa like that. Okay. And then he says, okay, waw al-thamaniya fil Quran. Let me see, I could find it. Surah Tawbah 112. And then he says, let's just highlight it. I'll come on it, inshallah. Wahaqibati, haqiba is bag. Wahaqibati, my bag. Tahta, you see the tahta, amama, wara'a, khalfa. They all come with fatha like that. Adverb of place, when it comes with the fatha. Okay. Tahta al-maktabi, my bag is under the table. Nafidatu ghurfati maftuha. Nafidatu ghurfati maftuha. The window of my room is opened. Okay. Hadihi ghurfatu akhi. This is my brother's room. Wa tilka ghurfatu ukhti. And that is my sister's room. Ghurfatu akhi kabiratun. My brother's room is big. Ghurfatu ukhti saghiratun. And my sister's room is small. Ghurfatu akhi amama ghurfati. My brother's room is in front of my room. Ghurfatu ukhti amama al-matbakhi. And my sister's room is in front of the kitchen. I think this text, I don't know if any feminists have seen it. They would attack them. How would the brother's room be in front of your room and the sister's room be in front of the kitchen? It's not fair. Li akhun wahidun. I have one brother. Ismuhu Usama too. His name is Usama. Though his name is masculine, it picks the feminine format, so we give it just one dhamma. You don't say Usama too. The format is feminine. And we've said feminine names, they take just a dhamma. They take just one vowel. Wali ukhtun, and I have one sister, ukhtun wahidatun, ismuha Su'adu. Her name is Su'ad. And the name Su'ad, as I've said, I think his first appearance was in the poem that, I don't know if you've heard of Ka'b ibn Abi Sulma, Ka'b ibn Zuhayr ibn Abi Sulma. There was this guy who is reported to have done a poem against the Prophet or has insulted the Prophet. And he said that the Prophet ﷺ has declared his blood halal. And so everybody, he was wanted, he was declared wanted. So everybody was searching for him. It was an honor that if I find the enemy of the Prophet and kill him, it looked like an honor. And so he was really in danger. And he found his way into Sayyidina Abu Bakr's bosom, and then he sought for Sayyidina Abu Bakr to cover him up. One thing with the Arab is that, then, not today, one thing with the Arab culture then is that even when you are searching for me to kill me, and I find my way to come to you first, you do not have that right to kill me. You have to respect me coming to you and keep me. So I said, he came upon Sayyidina Abu Bakr like that and pleaded that Sayyidina Abu Bakr should intercede for him before the Prophet. And that if he doesn't do that, he can't find his face before the Prophet. He might be killed or something. And so I think, was it Sayyidina Abu Bakr or somebody who took him to the masjid, or he sought help from a lot of people, he didn't get it. So even in his poem, he had mentioned it. وَكُلُّ خَلِيلٍ كُنْتُ أَعْمُلُهُ وَقُلْتُ, I said, he said something to وَقُلْتُ لِكُلِّ خَلِيلٍ كُنْتُ أَعْمُلُهُ خَلُّوا سَبِيلِي لَا أَبَا لَكُمْ. Like every friend that he sought hope with, he lost it. So when he finally found his way to the Prophet ﷺ, I think it was prayer. The Prophet finished prayer and then he went to the Prophet at the mihrab. And then he was like, he started his poem. بانت سعاد فقلبي اليوم متبول متيم إثرها لم يفدى مقبول ومقبول or something like that. So that was where the name Su'adu came. And he said to refer to a feminine, just a woman that the poet was trying to praise. They start their poem with expression of love always, just to decorate the beginning of the poem. Though the poem is called the Burda. We have two Burdas so that you don't get confused. the burda of Ka'b is the first one, and then we have burda of Imam Busiri, which is just the one that came later. The Ka'b did his burda. Why they call it burda is that when he finished the poem, the Prophet ﷺ took off his cloak and gave it to him. So when he gave him his cloak like that, it started being called the poem of the cloak. Qasidatul Burda, poem of the cloak. Okay, so Su'adu came there, and it's said to be a name for feminine. I don't know if the meaning has been fetched out yet. It says he has one sister, and her name is Su'ad. Abi wa ummi fi tilka al-ghurfati al-kabira. My father and mother are in that big room. Now see the concept that we learned, that when you have this tilka, haza, this, that, I don't know if they are called the demonstrative nouns or pronouns. These ones, we said that if you have them and a definite noun comes after them, it becomes that boy, like haza rajulu, haza ar-rajulu, haza al-waladu. You become that this man, this boy. But if it is haza rajulun, it becomes this is a man. Haza waladun, this is a boy. So here, if I had tilka gurfatun kabiratun, what would I say? I would say that is a big room. That is a big room. But because it came with alif and lam after this kind of words, tilka, dhalika, hadihi, those kind of words that we just studied, when after them you get alif and lam, it becomes this boy, this room, this, it goes direct like that. So here, Abi wa ummi fi tilka al-ghurfati al-kabira. So here, fi tilka al-ghurfati, I give it kasra, al-kabirati. When it brings alif and lam after these words, we call these words with alif and lam that come after this, we call them badal. I think the other time I wrote something like that. Badalun. And I said it means substitute. So if after this haza, hazihi, dhalika, tilka, you get a noun that is definite after it, then the noun is said to be, you get a noun with alif and lam after it, the noun is said to be badal. So you translate it as this, my father and mother are in that big room. Fi tilka al-ghurfat al-kabira, in that big room. And they also take the vowels just as this is affected. Fi tilka al-ghurfati al-kabirati, they are all affected by the fi. Okay. Ana uhibbu abi wa ummi, I love my father and mother. Wa uhibbu akhi wa ukhti, and I love my sister, brother and sister. Uhibbu bil Arabiyya sometimes means love, L-O-V. Uhibbu goes to mean like, I like. Okay. But then I like, you would want to say argabu fi. I'll just type that quickly in the this. Let me just change my keyboard. We have argabu fi to mean I, okay, to mean I like, to mean I like or love, like or love. Argabu fi. So if I say argabu fi ta'am, argabu fi ta'am, I like food. Argabu fiha, argabu fiha, I like her, I'm interested in her. Argabu fiha, I'm interested in her. But look at something here. I don't know if you've seen this before. And I want to say, I hate it. I hate it. I would say, argabu an. See how just the harf, the article changed it. So if I want to say, I like something, I would say, argabu fihi. I like it or I love it. If I want to say, I hate it, argabu anhu. If I say argabu anha, I hate her, I dislike her. But argabu fiha, I like her. So let's take note of just the huruf al-jar is what changes the meaning. You take note of it. Okay. And then we said we were going to talk about the waw al-thamaniya. Okay, we have I think Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 112. Let me see. Surah Tawbah, verse number 112. Okay. Pardon. 112. Okay, I think that is it. We have بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم التائبون العابدون الحامدون السائحون الراكعون الساجدون الآمرون بالمعروف والناهون عن المنكر. So we have التائبون 1, العابدون, Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 112. التائبون, العابدون, الحامدون, الساجدون, الراكعون, الساجدون, 6, الآمرون بالمعروف, 7, والناهون, and then the wow comes, والناهون. I don't know if you are checking it up, but that would be nice if you check it up. The Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 112. The wow with thamaniya, what we call the 8th wow. The 8th wow. If you could just check that for me right away, I would be very glad. I would want us to have a direct relationship with the Quran. Arabic, actually, if you learn it as a Muslim and it's not in relation to the Quran, you are really not doing much. Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 112. You see, At-Ta'ibuna, it's not wal-abiduna, but At-Ta'ibuna al-abiduna, right away. At-Ta'ibuna 1, al-abiduna 2, al-hamiduna 3, as-sa'ihuna 4, al-raqi'una 5, as-sajiduna 6, al-amiruna bil-ma'ruf 7, and then the 8th one, he says, wan-nahuna anil munkar. So if you have something numbering up to 8, from 1 to 7, you just join them together, but no comma. You don't bother bringing comma. You just mention them like that, and then the 8th one will take the wow. But generally in Arabic language, you say ishtaraitu burtuqal wa mauz wa. We keep repeating the wow. Wa tomatum wa sukkar wa, like that. But then when you have them numbering up to 8, we pick the qaida from the Quran. The 8th one will rather take the wow, and the rest of the wow you rest it. I hope we saw this, inshallah. Okay, from this passage, if there is any queries, if there is anything to ask about this passage. Okay. It says Tamarin exercises. اقرأ واكتب, just read and write. من في هذا البيت فيه حامد ماذا في الحقيبة فيها كتابي وقلمي ودفتري. I think the lesson was actually geared towards the fihi thing, because if you look at it, it was a lot. I kind of using the pronoun to replace the noun. Baiti jamilun, and then fihi, I fi baiti. Hazihi gurfati, fiha. They actually geared the lesson towards that. That was part of the things they wanted to achieve. Kind of using the pronoun to replace the noun after the noun has been mentioned. We have man fi hadha al-bayti, who is in this house. Fihi hamidun, hamid is in it. Madha fil haqibati, what is in the bag? Fiha kitabi wa qalami wa daftari, and my notebook or exercise book. In it is my book, my pen, and my notebook or exercise book. Man fi sayyara, who is in the car? Say fiha, no need to mention fi sayyara again. Fiha abi wa ummi wa akhi wa ukhti. Man fi masjid al-jami'at al-an, who is in the university's mosque. You see the prepositional possessive phrase, man fi masjid al-jami'ati al-an, who is in the university's mosque now. So if you're on campus, University of Ghana campus, and then you want to ask maybe on your status who is at the Legon Central Mosque, you just type man fi masjid al-jami'at al-an, who is in the university's masjid now. Ma fihi ahadun. Ma fihi ahadun. There is none in it. Okay. Somebody will say laysa fihi ahadun. It's all fine. Man fi hadhihi al-ghurfa, who is in this room? Fiha al-mudiru. The headmaster or the manager is in it. Ikra, just ikra. Uhibbu an-nabiyya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Uhibbu abi wa ummi. Uhibbu akhi wa... I don't know. Did I mention anything about the object in the sentence taking fatha here? I think we did something about the verbal sentence, you having the verb, the doer, and then the object taking a fatha. I don't know if I mentioned it. Okay, there is this. Okay. Let me see. Okay, Hamdia. Okay, Hamdia said no. Okay. Then that might be maybe the weekend that Hamdi was not here. So we said that if you have a verbal sentence, as we did in the lesson 2 material, when you have the verb, the subject comes after it, then you have an object. The object takes fatha. That is, it is accusative. Yeah, I think I even wrote it in the chat. We mentioned something like that, and I mentioned that it is accusative, and it takes fatha. So when you have the verbal sentence like that, you have the verb and then the doer of the verb and then the object, the recipient of the action. So something like Muhammad, or you say yuhibbu Muhammad at-ta'ama, or yuhibbu Ridwanu at-ta'ama. Aywa, that was yesterday, mashallah. I wanted to bring a story, but then it falls on this line. I want to show just how these things count. So the object takes fatha if you are all uniform on that. There was this poet, or this poet in Arabic language, a very top-notch poet, yani one touch. When you mention his name, everybody knows him. Even in the literature world of the non-Muslims, he's known. He's called Mutanabbi. Mutanabbi, you can search on him online. There's a couple of his poems has been translated. But when we talk about Arabic poems, he's serious. Mutanabbi. It's called Abu Tayyib al-Mutanabbi, but simply Mutanabbi. It's called Abu Tayyib al-Mutanabbi. Abu Tayyib had issues with people. He used to brag a lot. So he got a lot of issues with people. So people were just finding ways to cut him down. Even in his poems, they would tell him this poem you didn't follow the meter. It broke the rhyme line. He had issues. He was used to praising kings and praising here and praising himself. So once he had said, سيعرف مجلسنا أنني خير من ضم إليه, or something like that. أنني خير من تسعى إليه القدم, that I'm the best person that every foot has ever walked to. Yani he's just claiming himself to be the best. So he had said a sentence. You know, in Arabia, when you are ending a sentence, you don't really pronounce the ending vowel. So he had said, Ana Ahmadun Nabi. Something like this. Ana Ahmadu an-Nabi. Please, I don't know if random, anybody could give us the meaning of this. Ana Ahmadu an-Nabi. We all know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his name is Ahmad. Yati min ba'di ismuhu Ahmad. So he says, Ana Ahmad an-Nabi. Ana Ahmadun Nabi. I don't know if you could just go around the meaning, any meaning you could get out of this. Could just quickly.
Yes.
Now.
I am Ahmad the Prophet.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. A very straight meaning, and that is what the meaning those people of his era they gave to it. I am Ahmad, the Prophet. That is just it. Ana Ahmadu an-Nabi. That is the meaning. But apparently what Mutanabbi meant was that this Ahmad here is a verb. The Ahmad, he intended a verb. So I, Mutanabbi, Ahmadu an-Nabiyya. So you see, our meaning we gave it will only hold if the an-Nabi has Dhamma at the end. Our meaning, I don't know if the network is still on. I somebody called through. Our meaning will only hold if the Ahmad is Dhamma. Ana Ahmadu an-Nabiyyu. And then we say, oh, he's saying, I am Ahmad, the Prophet, because an-Nabiyyu then will be describing Ahmad. But he said what he intended is Ana Ahmadu, and I am praising from Hamd. From Hamida Yahmadu. From Hamida Yahmadu. Ahmadu, I am praising. An-Nabiyya, with fatha at the end. So Nabi is the object in this sentence. Ana Ahmadu Nabiyya, I am praising the Prophet. So you see what the ending vowel of the, either it is a sifa or maf'ulun bihi, the object, it created a very big problem for Mutanabbi. And till today, there are people who have held the notion that Mutanabbi claimed prophethood. He's part of those people who claimed prophethood because it just fits him. If you are part of those who wanted to catch up with him, it fits him. He praises himself so much. He has eloquence. So is he not saying that he also gets revelation or something? So they just trapped him with it. And it was, per the narrations, was a very tough time for him to take himself out. Because you're a person who brags a lot. You've already said you are the best person that a person can walk to. And so if you say, Ana Ahmadun Nabi, of course you are saying you are the Prophet. So that is how the issue is. You have to know what is being intended is also an issue. And then the vowels. If the person said, Ana Ahmadun Nabi, before you judge the person, you have to let the person read it in full. Do you mean Ana Ahmadun Nabiyya or Ana Ahmadun Nabiyyu? What do you intend? And then I can give a meaning to it. If you say Ana Ahmadun Nabiyya, Ana Ahmadu an-Nabiyya, then an-Nabiyya I know is the object in the verbal sentence of Ahmadu an-Nabiyya. I am praising the Prophet. Okay, so that is that with the, so if you look here, I just saw this and it came to my mind. Uhibbu an-Nabiyya. Uhibbu an-Nabiyya. So you see, the vowel here shows us that this is the object in the sentence. Uhibbu an-Nabiyya, I love the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Okay. Uhibbu Allah, maf'ulun bihi, the object. Uhibbu, I love. What I love is the object. Al-Lugha al-Arabiyya, it has to take fatha. Okay. الدرس الثاني عشر. In case there is no question, and on your word, we continue with the 12 lesson. If there is any question with anything that I've said, anything at all, if there is not, then we continue with the الثاني عشر. هل من سؤال؟ هل من سؤال؟ لا أسمع. أوكي إذن نستمر. إذن لنستمر. الدرس الثانية عشرة. الدرس الثانية عشرة. I've said the numbers from 11 to 19. You see them like this. مبني جزئين. They both come with fatha, fatha like this. Inshallah, when we discuss numbers as a lesson, we will talk about the deeper rulings or the higher rulings. سعاد هذا الدرس حوار بين سعاد وأظن البنت. أم ليس حوار؟ بدأنا نقرأ. قال السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك. I've said that this, when you are doing salama, the alif and lam is very important. Don't be doing salamu alayk without the alif and lam. You have to bring the alif and lam. Assalamu alayki wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But then preferably make it jam'u. Assalamu alaykum. Always make it assalamu alaykum. Assalamu alayki, assalamu alayka is kind of informal, but then the best is we saying assalamu alaykum. Some, because of knowing Arabic, would say salamun alayki. Yani just say assalamu alaykum. It's better. Al-bint wa alayki salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kayfa haluki ya bintu? How are you, O bint? It says, Ana bi khair walhamdulillah. I am good. All praise is due Allah. Min aina anti? Where are you from? Ana min al-Riyadh. I'm from Riyadh in Saudi. Masmuki, what's your name? Ismi Amina. My name is Amina. Ismi Aminatu. Aina abuki? Where is your father? Abi huna fil madinati al-munawwarati. My father is here in the Madina Munawwara, the Prophet city. Huwa muwajjahun. Huwa muwajjahun. There is a shadda here. Huwa muwajjahun fil madinati fil madrasati al-thanawiyya. He is a muwajjahun will be kind of a director or something like that. We will quickly find the exact vocabulary for it, and then inshallah we give that. Wa aina ummuki? And where is your mother? So something like an instructor or something. I think the vocabulary is around that end, inshallah. We find the exact vocabulary. Wa aina ummuki? And where is your mother? Here أيضا هنا. She's also here. هي طبيبة في مستشفى الولادة. She is a doctor in the مستشفى الولادة. Wilada is birth, childbirth. So the hospital of childbirth, it might have just one name. It might have one name for it. I don't know how the mothers call their hospitals. She's in the Mustashfa al-Wilada, hospital of childbirth, basically. It is from al-Wilada that we get waladun, walidun, walidatun. They all are around birth. That's why when we say walid, biological father, when we say abun, father, just any man can be a walid, can be an ab. But then walid is biological father, the one who gave birth to you. Okay, this can be something like maternity home. It can be something like that, Mustashfa al-Wilada. It is either something like a maternity home, or the Mustashfa itself is called Mustashfa al-Wilada. If that is the name, we don't translate, but then we have to translate to know the Arabic words. That Mustashfa is hospital, al-Wilada is childbirth. Al-Wilada is childbirth. So we need to translate to know the meanings, but then when it is a name of a hospital, like the hospital is actually called Mustashfa al-Wilada, even when you find it in a text, you don't translate that, you write it in transliteration. Mustashfa al-Wilada, like MUSH, like that. Or Al-Wilada Hospital. Al-Wilada Hospital. Though Al-Wilada means childbirth, but then when you are translating, and if that is the name of the hospital, you need to keep it like that. Okay. That's woman هذه الفتاة التي معك. And who is this? You see the fata, we once saw fata, I think, and I said the feminine has ta marbut at the end. Fatatu, yani young lady. Woman هذه الفتاة التي معك. And who is this young lady with you? أهي أختك? Is she your sister? La, hiya bintu ammi. No, she is the daughter of my paternal uncle, my father's brother. That is paternal uncle. My mother's brother is Khali. My mother's brother is Khali. Khali, like this. Khali, my maternal uncle. Ammi is my paternal uncle, my father's brother. Like we say, Amma Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet's uncle, that is from his father's brothers. Okay. Masmuha, what's her name? And she says, Ismuha Fatimatu. Her name is Fatima. Coming. Her name is Fatima. Ahia zamilatuki. Ahia zamilatuki. Is she your colleague? La. أنا في المدرسة المتوسطة وهي في المدرسة الثانوية. I am in the middle school. Mutawassit is middle. I am in the middle school and she is in the secondary school. الثانوية is secondary. Anything when we say thanawi is secondary. وهي في المدرسة الثانوية and she is in the secondary school. عليك أخت? Do you have a sister? لا. مالي أخت. لا مالي أخت. عليك أخ? Do you have a brother? نعم. لي أخ كبير. I have a big brother. وهو طالب بالجامعة. And he's a student at the university. وهو طالب بالجامعة. He's a student at the university. Okay. And then he says, ومن هذا الطفل ومن هذا الطفل الذي معك. And who is this child with you? And who is this child with you? Then we say, هو ابن أخي. He is my brother's son. Masmuhu, what is his name? Ismuhu Sa'adun. It's called Sa'ad. أأمك في البيت الآن? أأمك في البيت الآن? Is your mother at home now? Like you ask somebody, هل أنت موجود الآن? Are you available now? هل أنت في البيت الآن? Are you in the house now? لا. ذهبت إلى المستشفى. No, she's gone to the hospital. Mustashfa is from the word shifa, healing. Okay. Now that is that with the 12-year read and write assignment. اقرأ واكتب. Isn't there? Okay. لمن هذه الساعة الجميلة? To whom belongs this beautiful watch? PLE. Okay. So that we don't waste much time here. هذا قلمك أنت. أهذا قلمك يا محمد? Is this your pen, O Muhammad? لا. هذا قلمك أنت. He's asking Muhammad if this is his pen. هذا قلمك يا Muhammad? Is this your pen, O Muhammad? Muhammad says لا. هذا قلمك أنت. No, this is your pen instead. This is rather your pen. Says تلك السيارة الجميلة التي خرجت الآن من المدرسة للمدير. That beautiful car that went out now التي خرجت الآن, that went out now من المدرسة, from the school. للمدير is for the مدير, is for the head. أنت مهندس يا أخي, are you an engineer, oh my brother? Said لا. I said لا, أنا طبيب, I am a doctor. No, I am a doctor. أنت طبيبة يا أختي, are you a doctor, oh my sister? لا, أنا مدرسة, I am a teacher. اقرأ كل جملة من الجمل الآتية. Read each sentence from the following sentences. ثم اقرأها أخرى بعد تغيير المنادى كما هو موضح في المثال. Okay, it says اقرأ, read كل جملة. Read each sentence. Whenever you see كل, the noun coming after it will take كسرة. Like كل نفس ذائقة الموت. كل نفس. كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه. بعد كل, whether it comes كل or anyway, if it is كل, then the noun coming after it will take كسرة. Says اقرأ كل جملة من الجمل الآتية. Please, you can note something like that if you didn't know it before, like the noun after كل should take كسرة. اقرأ كل جملة من الجمل الآتية. Read each sentence among the following sentences. ثم اقرأها أخرى, and then read it again بعد تغيير المنادى, after changing the what is being called. Al-munada is the noun that falls under ya, after ya. Again, al-munada is the noun that falls after ya. So when you say al-munada, the one being called is the munada. So if I say Ya Ridwan, Ya Hamdiya, Ya Aisha, Ya Keda, the ones I'm calling, they are the munada. They are what we call the munada. So he's telling us that we should read the sentences and then we read it again after changing the munada كما هو موضح في المثال. Okay. So in the example, it says أين قلمك يا أبي. It says أين قلمك. So he says أين قلمك. Now this one should change to كسرة. أين قلمك يا أمي. Where is your pen, oh my mother? Okay, so that is just what they want from us. So أعندك قلم يا محمد. So here you say أعندك قلم يا آمنة. أين بيتك يا أستاذي. أين بيتك يا أستاذتي. Okay, so that's just the changes we'll be doing to all of them. And as for the word, I think all of them are familiar. We have marid here. Anta marid, are you sick? Khali, you remember the khali I just wrote? Maternal uncle. And then maternal auntie, khalati. Khali, maternal uncle. Khalati, maternal auntie. Auntie. So your auntie from your mother's side is called khalatun. Okay. And then he brought the paternal uncle and then the paternal auntie. Ammun is a paternal uncle. Ammatun is a paternal auntie, your father's sister. Okay. I like ahunya. Okay, all this is familiar. All this here is very familiar. Okay. Now, this instruction, he says, أنث الفاعل في كل من الجمل الآتية. أنث. أنث بمعنى اجعله مؤنث. Make it feminine. Let's make the fa'il, as we've said, the doer in the verbal sentence, says make it in each sentence, في كل من الجمل الآتية, in each of the following sentences. Make the fa'il mu'annath. So we have the example, مثال, خرج محمد من البيت. Muhammad went out of the house. It says خرجت آمنة. خرجت آمنة من البيت. So that is what we are just going to do. ذهب المدرس إلى الفصل. Please, let's try our hands on them. ذهب المدرس إلى الفصل. So you say ذهبت المدرسة إلى الفصل. So you just change the fa'il, the doer of the action. ذهب أبي. So you just change the أبي. ذهب, you make it feminine. ذهبت أمي. You change the الطالب. جلس الطالب. خرج أخي. You change the أخي. Okay. He says تأمل ما يلي. تأمل, to ponder over, like تدبر or تفكر في. So تأمل can mean تدبر or تفكر في or انظر إلى ما يلي. Okay. جلست الطالبة. So here he's just showing us what we call the التقاء الساكنين. What I think we've already explained that. جلست الطالبة. So you have the doer being a noun with alif and lam, and it is feminine. So you have to end the verb with a tau skun. You have to end the verb with a tau skun, and the word after it is also having alif and lam. And you know the alif and lam comes with a skun. The alif there is a skun. So if you want to read it together, you have to say jalasati talibatu. Jalasati at-talibatu. You have to turn it to kasra. Though the actual vowel is skun, but due to recitation, the way you want to read it together, you have to say jalasati talibatu. Jalasati talibatu. Because the ta here is harf shamsiya. It's part of the huruf shamsiya. So it has to take shadda. In that case, we need to jump from the ta to the ta right away. And then we need to bring it a kasra. Okay. The alif and lam, this alif here is sakina. This is also skun. In Arabic language, we detest iltiqa'i sakinain, what we call iltiqa'i as-sakinain. Like this. Iltiqa as-sakinain. Two words with skun meeting. Iltiqa as-sakinain. We hate it. One has to change its vowel. The first one in particular. So we change the vowel of this and we make it jalasat talibatu. Okay. Let's ikra al-jumal al-atiya. Read the following sentences. So here is just showing the difference between allazi and allati. Man al-fata, the young man. Man al-fatatu, the young woman. So for the young man we say allati. For the man we say alladhi. Man al-fata alladhi kharaja min baytika al-an. Huwa ibn ammi. Man al-fatatu allati. Okay, so we should just note the difference. لمن المفتاح الذي على المكتب. Okay. لمن الساعة التي. الساعة feminine, so التي. المفتاح masculine, and so الذي. Okay. Here لزوج أختي. This is for my sister's husband. Here لزوج أختي is my sister's husband. أكمل الجمل الآتية. Complete the following sentences. بوضع اسم موصول. اسم موصول is these things. الذي, التي. الذين, اللاتي. Those ones are called the asma'ul mawsula. Asma'u mawsula. But one of it is called ismu mawsulin. Ismun mawsulun. So he says, complete the following sentences. بوضع, by putting ism mawsulin munasib, by putting the appropriate ism mawsul, like alladhi, allati, fil farag, in the empty space. Say al-kitabu alladhi ma'i ala al-maktab, al-kitabu alladhi ala al-maktab, so you just fill here. Al-kitabu alladhi ala al-maktab lil-mudarris. Al-qalam, you fill here. As-sayyaratu, of course, allati. So we do it like that throughout. Okay, let's see here if there are any vocabularies we do not know. Mu'adhin is the one who says the adhan. Mu'adhin. تحت الشجرة بنت الفلاح. Okay, في ذلك الشارع وزير. وزير we said is minister, right? وزير, minister. الشارع, street. البطة, is the duck. Duck, D-U-C-K. That bird, no? Looks like a hen. بعد هذا الدرس سهل جدا. الدرس الذي بعد هذا الدرس, the lesson after this lesson, سهل جدا. It's very easy. Okay. من الفتاة التي جلست أمام المدرسة? Who is the girl that sat before the teacher? هي طالبة من ماليزيا. She's a student from Malaysia. تلك الحقيبة التي تحت المكتب لك يا خالد. Is that bag under the table for you, oh Khalid? لا, هي لصديقي محمد. It is for Muhammad. الكلمات الجديدة, new words. We have al-am, as I've said, akhul ab. You see, he has defined it here for us. Al-am is akhul ab, paternal uncle. Al-ammatu, ukhtul ab, khal, akhul al-khala, ukhtul Okay, then we have al-fallah, peasant farmer. We already know this. Mustashfa al-wilada, you've been told that too. Mustashfa al-wilada. Okay, so those are the new vocabularies we are picking from the lessons we've done today. Though these vocabularies there, we know them that. Okay, let me see. Mustashfa al-wilada. Aha, found it. Okay, you see the maternity home you gave is actually right. And then there is a technical name. It says obstetrics hospital. That is the Mustashfa al-Wilada. The maternity home also is an option, but they brought this word. Let me see if I can get it up. Obstetrics hospital. Obstetrics hospital. Yeah, like this. For the Mustashfa al-Wilada. Okay. Okay, for this lesson, inshallah, we would, okay, it's not even that much, but then let's just relax on it. Please, if there is any question, any freestyle thing at all, anything at all you want to run through, please, let's get it running, inshallah. Aywa. Okay, this will be instructor. Instructor. Like this, it's an instructor. Let's go back to the text actually. Let's go back to the text. I even forgot I done that word. Did I pass it? So after this lesson, right? Aywa. Huwa muwajjihun. It will be like that. Huwa muwajjihun fil madrasati الثانوية. هو موجه. G. موجه. If we say موجه, يعني هو موجه إلى, he's aimed towards, he's directed towards. So let's say I go out, I'll say أنا موجه إلى الجامعة. I'm going towards the university. But موجه will be the instructor. Yani he is the one that gives directions in the ثانوية, in the secondary school. هو موجه, he is the instructor. So here it is the context that will determine the vowel you are giving here, whether kasra or whether fatha. But because of the context, she's saying about her father is something in the secondary school. So you can't say he's directed towards the, or he's going towards the. هو موجه في المدرسة الثانوية. He's an instructor there. Okay. Okay.
Please, is there a shutdown the gym?
Yeah. There is a shutdown.
Okay. I raised my hand to ask a question.
Okay. Okay, please.
It's a bit controversial, but
No, feel free. This is our field. It's for us
there, what would a female muazzin be called? Some years ago, there was this thing all around that I think in the US or something, there was this group, yes, and there were females leading prayers and females calling prayers and all.
Really interested in something. We have a problem. Wallahi. So that would be the muaddina.
Okay.
Muaddina. But you know, muaddin is the one that gives kind of idhni. You know, in Hausa we say yabani idhni. Come on, he has permitted me, he has given me permission. So the verb is
I don't really understand Hausa.
Oh, okay. When we say permission, idhn is permission. Idhnun. So atlubul idhna minka. Atlubul idhna minka lil ghiyab gadan. I'm seeking permission from you to be absent tomorrow. So idhn here is permission. And then what will he, the mudir that I'm seeking permission from, do? Huwa yu'adhinu li. So I'll tell somebody, oh, adhan al-mudiru li al-ghiyab gadan. The mudir has permitted me to stay off tomorrow, to be absent tomorrow. Permitted me, adhana. Now, the one that gives the idhin is called muazzin. Did we follow this?
Oh, okay.
Okay, the one that gives idhin, just idhin, not azan. The one that gives permission is called muazzin. He's the one that gives the idhin. Now, adhan that is the name of the thing. Adhan is kind of a call, calling you into something. It's kind of a permission, an opening. Not really the translation of it, but adhan is to, I think you wouldn't find it here. In the Quran, azanun, something. Oh Allah, I hope I find this. أذان من الله ورسوله إلى الناس يوم الحج الأكبر أن الله بريء من المشركين. Okay, so you see, in Surah, is that Tawbah? Surah At-Tawbah, that is chapter number 9, verse number 3. You see the first word, وَأَذَانٌ وَأَذَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ إلى الناس يوم الحج الأكبر أن الله بريء من المشركين ورسوله. وَأَذَانٌ. Look at it here. And an announcement from Allah is like a declaration from Allah. Here, it wasn't that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood and did azan like we do. So the azan, the idhin is, they have this relationship. Idhin is permission, declaration. Azan is announcement, declaration. So when the muazzin stands to do azan, he gives an idhin. Yani huwa yu'adhinu lana. That it's time for salat. Salat time has entered. Now you are now permitted to pray. So he's also called muazzin. But then the context will show this muazzin, are we talking about the one who does azan or the one who gives permission? We need to know the word from all these angles. We need to know all the rings of the word. Okay. So the imam, I don't know if they would have called her imama too or something. They have an issue.
Thank you.
There is an issue. You know, this is our fight, feminism fight, and sometimes when it goes overboard, it becomes very problematic. Anything at all, we fight it. Why are men in front? Why am I not leading some? Why am I not? It's interesting. I once had this talk with one lady, and I kind of questioned, though outside the lesson, I questioned that she was asking why is the man the head of the house and why is some talk plenty. And I said that in the Islamic field, the man is supposed to cater for the home, and everything at all, not even a pesewa from the mother. For Islamically, the man is supposed to bear all the burden. Said yes, of course that is, he has to. He's supposed to take care of the children. He has to. When the Prophet ﷺ was asked, Man awla an-nas bi suhbati, who deserves my companionship most? He mentioned the mother instead 3 times. So if the father, if taking care of the child for years, and you just get a consolation companionship, like the 4th time, that like was a consolation response. When the guy asked for the 4th time, then he said, your father. So you'd have to be with your mother, no matter the billions your father spent, the child, the mother. So Islam shares it. Here you take this, here you take this, shares it proportionally. And then, I don't know, we go asking for things that even has no benefit. Imam is a very big responsibility. I don't even know why somebody will be fighting to be an imam. Even men, it's a very big responsibility. Why would you be fighting to be the imam? That they will carry all these people's burden and put on your head. Al-Lijara. It's good. Our questions shouldn't definitely always be limited to this. We just expand, we open up, and we know more things. Sometimes there are a lot of things in our heads, but until the question comes, as they say, is'al taftah abwaba. Ask and you open up questions, you open up doors. Sometimes there are certain things that you know they are in their unconscious memory. One question, then it triggers it out. هل من سؤال هل من استفسار هل من استفهام. So again, one last time. Somebody speaking? I was going to say something about the wilada. I said that is from the walada, walad, walid, and I said the walid is the biological father, walida, biological mother, ab can be anyone at all. I think in yesterday's lesson I had mentioned that the one man that the Prophet ﷺ, he asked the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet told him that he said Aina Abi, and the father said Finnar. The Prophet ﷺ said Finnar, your father is in hell, and he was worried, and the Prophet ﷺ told him that Inna Abi wa Abaka Finnar. You see, the argument of scholars that the Prophet ﷺ didn't mean his father. He had said Abi. It could mean that with the Abi, the Prophet referred to himself. He's referring to maybe an uncle. He's referring to maybe another man. It's accurate to be like that. So you see, from the language, that is where these differences is popping up from. Somebody will say, he didn't say Nawalidi, said that you lock it to his biological father. Because he said, Inna Abi, it had an open explanation. Then it becomes a field of research and people will be writing books. Imam Suyuti has a book on that. Scholars have big books on just that. And all the differences is popping up from Abi. He didn't say Walid. And so a door is open for this discussion. If he had said Inna Walidi, he has closed the door. Inna Abi, then no, we are free to now bring up theories. So that is how it goes. All these differences of scholars comes out of Luga, except our differences in Ghana here. Most of it is political. The scholars, most of it, they are just fighting their own group interest. I'm with this group, so let us win. I'm this group, let us win. But scholars, Ankasa, their differences mostly lies on critical things. That is why it said that the differences of scholars is a mercy for us, because it kind of opens up so much knowledge for us to learn a lot. But not differences of these ones here. Most of them here may be parading as scholars. Okay, yeah. Now, someone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Please, the wow tamania.
Aywa.
If the like let's say 10, 11, 12,
Now,
do we have to connecting them with the wow after the 9, or it has a after the 8th one? Like all of them will take the wow.
yeah, so from the 8th one will take the wow. And the 8th one on, they will all start taking the wow. So 1 to 7 will not take wow. Do we still have the verse opened? We could check. You see, the Quran actually is the foundation of the. So anybody who says the Quran has a grammatical error somewhere, if you see anything like that somewhere, just rubbish. It is a very crazy assertion. You look at the verse; it comprises all this. It says, التائبون العابدون الحامدون السائحون الراكعون الساجدون الآمرون بالمعروف, and then it starts والناهون عن المنكر والحافظون لحدود الله وبشر المؤمنين. See, from the والناهون والحافظون لحدود الله, from the والناهون, the rest takes the wow. So when you get to the seventh one, the eighth one will take the wow, and then on, you start giving them the wow. It is contemporary today that people are making the language go close to English, and so they will just go the English way, comma, 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 until they finish whatever they want to say. Okay. So mostly the verses we give as references, we just keep noting them down, just that, so that if we are also going to tell somebody, and somebody who maybe like to argue, you have a verse or something to refer the person to, just like the issue of the khimar, hijab, and all these things. We need the verses so that when somebody tells you the headgear is not mentioned in the Quran, tell the person, check Surah An-Nur, this particular verse. It's mentioned there, the word is khimar, and the plural is khumur, and look at it there, being the women being commanded to drop their khumur on their bosoms. So you don't have a point. You know, you need to be, when you are educating somebody Islamically, you need to have your points. It needs to be intellectual, not to lie, need a kid, and I'm anger. No. So it's to be intellectual. So that's why we go giving the references and all that. Okay. I think the reception of the morning is very good. The network is quite good. Please, when you are reading the Quran, I like it when questions, I get questions from the Quran, like I read this, I really like it. I like that there are people who are like, I should start something Quran. And I'm like, whatever I'm doing is Quran basically. The Arabic lessons that I'm doing all is basically Quran. We are just trying to get our Arabics better to understand the Quran. I like it when the questions are, we read the Quran, we see something and then we ask about it. It's really more beneficial. Assalam. Okay, any further question? Hajia Hamdiyatu, any question?
No, not.
Okay, that's good. Okay, then, inshallah, we would end this session here. I pray we learned a thing or two. May Allah grant us beneficial knowledge. Allahumma allimna ma yanfa'una wa anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilman. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ameen.